On January 1st, 2014, Colorado became the first state in the world to make recreational consumption of marijuana legal. This has sparked the debate over whether or not recreational marijuana should be legalized in other places or made illegal everywhere.
That was marijuana. Shut up, Dick. Do you approve of this?
First, let's look at a quick history of marijuana in the U.S. Before America was a country, the colonists were required to provide 100 hemp plants to the Virginia Company, which was to be sent back to England for trading. Which means that even people like George Washington were growing marijuana. Marijuana was used solely as a medical plant for a long time, and there wasn't much controversy over the plant. During the Mexican Revolution of 1910, many Mexicans came to the U.S. and introduced recreational marijuana consumption. More and more controversy arose over the recreational consumption, especially around the time of the Great Depression. After government research determined that marijuana was linked to crime, 29 states outlawed the drug outright in 1932. In the mid-1900s, a lot of propaganda in the form of movies and PSAs were made to make people aware of the negative side effects that marijuana causes.
Wherever there is a troubled personality, no matter how hidden or unrecognized, there may be a seedbed for drug addiction.
Fast forward to 2014, and Colorado legalized the recreational use of it. About 50% of the population in the U.S. claims to have tried marijuana, and there are about 3.6 million daily users, more than any other country. But what is marijuana exactly? Marijuana actually goes by numerous other names. A couple of the more popular ones are dope, weed, pot, hash, herb, joint, Mary Jane, and reefer. Marijuana comes from the dried leaves and flowers of the hemp plant, Cannabis sativa. The stalk of the hemp plant, however, can be used to create things like fabric, plastic, and paper. Marijuana is generally said to be addictive, but many say that other substances, for example alcohol, can be addictive as well, so it should be of little concern whether or not marijuana is addictive.
I actually do think marijuana is very addictive. I actually dated a guy in high school who completely ruined his life for marijuana. He thought about marijuana all day, all night.
Drugs were becoming Marty's whole life.
One of the reasons so many people want to see marijuana legalized is that it would create a huge industry. On the first day that marijuana was made legal in Colorado, $1 million was made in profit. Statistics show that during the next 5 years, 14 states will legalize marijuana. This would create a $10.2 billion industry, similar to what the video game industry makes.
If you do come here and want to buy marijuana, it's not cheap. $50 for 1/8 of an ounce. Colorado residents can buy up to 1 ounce. Out-of-state residents can buy 1/4 of an ounce.
And you think of the billions and billions and billions of dollars that have been spent to combat and to micromanage everything, and have we seen really many results? We really haven't. I mean, we've probably seen an uptick in drug usage.
Maybe they would save money in some areas, but think about how many cops are going to be called when there's so many accidents from people driving under the influence of marijuana.
Almost 750,000 arrests were made in 2013 for illegal marijuana possession.
Since the late 70s and early 80s, overall drug use has declined 50% in the United States.
The larger issue, though, is not just about legalization of marijuana. It's an end to the drug wars, which are a very destructive thing in our country. And 1 in 6 people in jail are in there for marijuana arrests.
So you're basically saying, well, if you have this very small quantity, that's legal, so the police don't have to worry about stuff like that.
I don't think I'm a criminal if I use marijuana in the privacy of my home.
Legalizing marijuana would probably result in more accidents.
I pass on grass.
Marijuana causes things like distorted perception, memory loss, trouble with problem solving, and an increased heart rate.
I think that it fries your brain, and those people that have smoked marijuana will tell you that they have lost a lot of their memory.
There's really been no evidence that marijuana is going to, specifically cause certain health risks.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs.
Many think that if marijuana were made legal, more kids and teens would get a hold of marijuana.
In recent years, there has been a shocking increase in drug addiction among young people, often in their teens.
If it's legal, it's going to increase the chances of kids getting it. We already have 7% of 8th graders using it regularly, 22% of 12th graders. So, there's a lot of young people that shouldn't, because kids' brains are
a lot of young
very
people
susceptible.
smoke cigarettes too, but we would never think to make cigarettes illegal for adults.
Yeah,
People will come to school high, they will leave school high.
It would have affect how much they study and how high they do it, because when you're stoned you can't really study that good.
Another argument is that more marijuana usage would result in a higher crime rate.
Moreover, recent research using a variety of samples has indicated that drug use is one of the prime drivers of overall criminal activity. Meta-analytic research indicates that drug offenders offend at rates approximately 3 to 4 times that of offenders who do not have drug problems.
Addictions are addictions, and if they can't get it, well, they're going to find a way to get it.
To these addicts, life's only work is to find money for drugs. In their desperation, no means is too foul.
Since Colorado is the first state in the world to legalize marijuana, many wonder what other countries will think about the U.S.
A spokesman for the incoming governor of Mexico has said this is going to create problems with their efforts to prevent illegal handling of drugs, the drug smuggling, because some people will say, well, I'm just going to Colorado, I'm just going to Washington State. It makes no difference, but it's already having an adverse impact on our foreign policy in relations with Mexico.
Adults in a free country should be able to smoke a joint if they want to.
I see that there is no benefit to legalizing marijuana.
U.S. citizens are almost evenly split on this issue. In my opinion, there isn't a clear winner here. There are many pros and cons to legalizing marijuana. The U.S. could definitely use the money, but there are many problems that could arise from legalizing marijuana. The question is, do the cons outweigh the pros, or vice versa? I would say that the cons outweigh the pros, but I understand other people's points of views. In 2014, this is one of the issues that should be discussed by Congress, as it affects many other areas of life.